bull chasing the matador. Is a man left to his own schemes? Everybody needs someone beside him, shining like a lighthouse from the sea. Brother, let me be your shelter, never leave you all alone. I could be the one you call when you're low. Brother, let me be your fortress when the night winds are driving on. Be the one to light the way, bring you home. Face down in the desert now, there's a cage locked around my heart. Found a way to drop the keys when my failures were. Now my hands can't reach that far. I ain't made for a rivalry. I can never take the world alone. I know that in my weakness I am strong, but it's your love that brings me home. Brother, let me be your shelter, never leave you all alone. I could be the one you call when you're low. And brother, let me be your fortress when the night winds are driving on. Be the one to light the way, bring you home. And when you call and need me near, saying where you go, brother, I'm right here. And on those days when the sky begins to fall, you're the blood of my blood. We can get through it all. Brother, let me be your shelter, never leave you all alone. I could be the one you call when you're feeling low. And brother, let me be your fortress when the night winds are driving on. Be the one to light the way, bring you home. Good morning, everybody. Hi. It's good to see you guys. I'm sorry, I'm a little whopper jawed this morning. I got up late and it was a whole thing, but we're good now. So, but it's good to see you guys. We're gonna get started here with another song. So if y'all would like to stand and worship with us, I really like this one song that we just sang. If you're interested, it's called "Brother" by Need to Breathe. It's one of my favorites, and it really reminds me of kind of like my younger brother and I, and kind of like our relationship dynamic. And it just really makes me happy to sing this. So I kind of wish he was here, but I don't know where he is actually. He's probably asleep. I could just sit and wait for all your goodness, hope to feel your presence. I could just stay right where I am and hope to feel you, hope to feel something again. Hold on to who I am and never let you change me from the inside. I could be safe, oh, I could be safe here we're going to take a really quick break before we start the sermon, and we have coffee and donuts in the back, so yeah, y'all mingle, enjoy yourselves. Oh yeah. The kids will also be taken to the back. Sorry about that.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Christy. I'm Ross. I'm pastor here at Heaven Earth Church. Super good to be with you today. Some announcements, things that we have coming up. First of all, tonight, right here at the church, we're just having a little back-to-school shindig for if you're a student, if you're a parent, if you're staff, or you just want to crash the party and have ice cream. 6:30, we'll have some games out, have some fun, hang out for a bit. We just want to give folks some joy and support as they're heading back to school. So that's tonight right here at 6:30. Yeah, so now it's ice cream and cake, thanks to the mayor of Pearl Street. Let's go, Jim. All right, next Sunday, if you saw it, we regularly have more kids going to the back, which is an awesome thing. We would love to have you join us. If you have any nudge to invest in our kids here, join us for a short, 45-minute meeting next Sunday at 11 a.m. That would be for anyone who already serves on Sundays, or if you have, like I said, any nudge, passion, interest. We would love to have you here next Sunday at 11 because we're going to kind of hear from you, first of all, especially those who've served, what's your feedback, what have you seen, but also we want to kind of lay out, what's our vision in the next months about kind of where we want to go with kids. So right today, they are all in one room from age 3 to age 8. Well, what we're trying to get to is nursery, pre-K, K, elementary. 3 rooms back there. That takes more people, more volunteers. We have a new curriculum that we're using, so we're trying to step up our game across the board. So 45 minutes. If you have any nudge, come hang out with us next Sunday at 11 a.m. Next, so somebody in the middle of the night came and did a wonderful job making our landscaping look wonderful outside. And it wasn't in the middle of the night, I don't believe. Somebody just offered their gifts to spruce up the space. And along those lines, if you don't know this, we're building this slowly into a community center. And so on September 18th, we're working with United Way in what's called their Day of Caring to just do some pretty hardcore investment in the space. So September 18th, I just want to tell you to mark your calendar. We don't have all the details yet, but if you're the person who you got skills to make the landscaping look better, carpentry skills, painting. You don't have to have any skill in painting. I mean, just show up. Just do it. During the day, we'll have, I think it's Milwaukee Tools, employees from them coming throughout the whole day to invest time and energy here. And then at night, we're going to open it up to church folk as well, because Recovery Church will have a service night that night. And then you can come as well. Somebody has to get to the top of this chimney and get that tree out. Dave, what do you think? I inspected it. You can definitely get a ladder up there and just lean it up against the chimney. It'll be perfectly safe. So, yeah. Jamin, we'll get a harness on you and we'll go. Any other announcements? No? Oh, Katie. Yep. Yes. Now it's ice cream, cake, and fresh produce. This party is getting better. This party is getting better by the minute. Yeah. All right. Oh, Charles. Yes. We've been talking for many moons about men's softball. If you go to the Church Center app, can you flash that up there, Ashley? If you download Church Center, you make Heaven Earth Church your church. There you can register for our men's softball team. We didn't make that choice. The league is a men's league, and so we're going to go there and beat everyone. So if you want to join us, you can go to the Church Center app, and you go to More, and then you click Sign-Ups, and it's right in there. HEC Men's Softball, right there. If you're not so technologically sound, come and talk to me. I'll help you out. We are asking for folks to chip in $65 per player because to help cover the cost of registering the team, and also we're going to get a shirt for each person. So. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 We're gonna.
Maybe the women can make a cheer spot or something.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Probably be laughing at us. It's totally true. Anything else? No. All right. Hey, so it's back to school time. How many of you? How many school staff we got in the house? You work at a school? Yes. All right. How many students we got in the house? Yeah. Parents. I don't know about you, but I'm pumped. It's awesome. There's this yellow vehicle that just shows up, and you're like, go there. It's awesome. So, hey, without further ado, I would like to welcome up Natalie Holverson. She and I are going to have a conversation. Give her a round of applause. So, if you don't know, every month we have like something called a Neighbor Sunday. Hey, what's up? Where we want to help you know who's in here. We want to help, put a name to a face and all that. And since it's back to school time, I thought I'd talk with Natalie. So, Natalie, first question: Who are you? Where do you go to school? What year are you? And what are your favorite things right now? So that's 4 questions in 1 question. Go for it.
All right, so for those of you who didn't hear him say it already, my name's Natalie Halverson. I'm currently a senior at Center Grove High School, and kind of what do I do for fun or whatever. I'm a member of my high school robotics team as a wiring and controls lead, as well as a member of the First Robotics Indiana Student Board of Directors. I work at Goldfish Swim School down the road, and I am a part of the Johnson County Youth Leadership Academy class of this year.
Pretty legit, huh? I feel like high school's changed a little bit.
Probably has.
Or maybe actually, you just go to a different high school than I went to. I went to a school in the middle of just cornfields, and it was great. When did you start coming to Heaven Earth? And what's your experience been like here?
So my family started coming to Heaven Earth in February of 2023. I think that I got that date right. And my experience here has been, it was kind of interesting because we'd kind of been church hopping for a little while, trying to find a place we liked. And we kind of stumbled upon this place kind of by accident. We came across the website and the live stream. We're like, oh, we should check this out. And I really loved it here. Everyone's really welcoming and accepting, which is great. It's a church I feel comfortable in, which is awesome. And I've enjoyed being able to get involved with sound stuff at the church, so that's been fun.
This is the one. Natalie said this last question was not so easy. So I asked Natalie, what do you hope for yourself in your faith journey? And then also, what do you hope for our church?
So I'm actually going to answer the second part of that question first.
Go
because
for it.
I'm still thinking about the first part of the question. For our church, I love how we're always welcoming to everybody. I do hope that we're going to try and do some more things that are youth-centered, kind of reaching out to more students in our area. I mean, there's a high school right across the street. And just getting more students involved. especially because a lot of my generation hasn't always had a great experience with church, or there's been a lot of stereotypes or things with church that have kind of been shoved down onto us. So that's kind of my hope for our church, is we can kind of do some things to kind of break those stereotypes and kind of be a welcoming and safe space, there we go, for teenagers. As for the first part of that question, for my own faith journey, I'm I'd say I'm trying to find a place in my faith journey where I feel like it's safe and I can be at peace with it and kind of reconcile with some of the things that have happened in my own experience with church in the past, and kind of help myself move forward and be at peace with my faith journey, both externally and within myself and within my own mental health, and just kind of be at peace with that and allow myself to say, hey, it's not like because of things that have happened, it's not like you're not worth it, that you can feel safe and feel like you can be loved by God, and that you're not worth that time. So that's probably where I hope to get in my faith journey, is kind of be at peace with that.
Anybody else feel that way? I appreciate what you're saying so much, Natalie. It's our heart to be very honest with the whole room and everybody out there. Is we have a good conundrum upon us, and that is we have more students, we have more kids, and just like we're doing today, we don't want them to be like an afterthought, or like where they go on some program over there. It's like, hey, go have fun over there. Bye, bye, bye. I once heard someone say, like, kids, young adults aren't the future. Like, they're now. And already so much of our students, our kids, have helped us think about the kind of church we want to be and should be. So I'm just so thankful for all of our students, the kids and families that we have. You're making us the church we are, and you're also going to make us the church we hope to be. So please give Natalie a round of applause. All right, I want to read you a little excerpt out of a book to set the stage for what we're about to do together through September. So what we're going to do, starting today, is going to last for a while, and I'm super, super excited. I know you're like, well, you always say that about things we're doing, but I genuinely am again. So the story goes like this. In the second week, just so you know, this is actually in a book. Like, I'm reading it. I didn't like switch names, and this is actually Angela's story about like me and such. It's right out of here, okay? In the second week of January 1996, Jerry told me she was quitting the church. She was tired of feeling like a single parent raising our 4 daughters. See, there are 4 kids in this story, not 3. And she was tired of the constant crises in the church. She calmly declared, I'm leaving the church. The church no longer brings me life. It brings me death. I finally hit rock bottom. I notified our elders of my new crisis. They agreed to a 1-week intensive retreat for us with some professional help to see if Jerry and I could sort this out. Within a few weeks, we went away to a Christian counseling center. Our hope was to step out of our current pressures and get some objectivity about the church. I hoped God would fix Jerry. Jerry hoped God would fix the church. We both hoped for a quick end to our pain. We spent the next week with 2 counselors. This small short-term Christian community was safe enough for us to give ourselves permission to speak our hidden feelings to one another. What we did not anticipate was an authentic spiritual experience with God. For me, it began in the strangest way. Jerry and I had talked late into the night. At about 2 o'clock in the morning, she woke me, stood up on the bed, and with a few choice words, let me have it. This is in a book. This is not about my family. For the first time, she told me the brutal truth about how she felt about me, our marriage, and the church. While Jerry's explosion was painful, it was a liberating experience for both of us. Why? She had stripped off the heavy spiritual veneer of being good and kept her from looking directly at the truth about our marriage and lives. I listened, she listened. We looked at our parents' lives and marriage. I looked at New Life Fellowship honestly. The church clearly reflected dysfunctions from my family of origin. Neither of us had ever sensed a permission to feel like this before. What we discovered was that our discipleship, which we thought was authentic, was shallow, just a few inches deep. Although we had both been Christians for over 17 years, the discipleship we knew and practiced had penetrated our personhood only superficially. With all my education and background in prayer and the Bible, it was quite a shock to realize that there were whole layers of my life that nevertheless remained untouched by God. How could this be? We'll come back to that. I wanted to start off with that story. As you can tell, it hits me. Which I wasn't expecting, but that's authenticity coming out. I can relate to that story. But before we go on, I'll come back to it. I'm going to flash a word up on the screen, and I want you to listen to your feelings and your thoughts when you hear the word. No censoring. Right now, starting today, I hope we've been doing this. I hope we will continue to do this. We are starting a journey of taking off that heavy veneer of being good. And we will instead pursue being real. That word. So, your thoughts and your feelings with that word. To help, it could be, you might be like, I actually don't know that word very well. It could be all, whatever it is, please share it. Charles feels disappointment. Natalie. An expectation of obedience. Jennifer. It's how to be good, but growing up, discipleship equaled, here are the rules to follow that make you a good person. Mm-hmm. So discipleship is a doing good program, a being good program. Making sure your outer actions follow suit of what, Christy? Ah,
Yeah, like making sure that your outer actions line up to what that means.
gotcha. Okay. Adam. Program. Discipleship is a program. Oh, you can't. Amanda can't say what she initially thought, but it's definitely a weaponized word when you were growing up. So think about where we ended our question series about weaponization. It's just when someone takes something sacred that aligns with God's heart and character and purposes, and they warp it, distort it, and manipulate and create harm and spread discord and such. That's what Amanda feels. PT.
I'm sick of the word. For the last 4 years, I've been in an environment where it was used to try to tell you you're not conforming, you're not performing, you're not doing things right.
PT said he's sick of the word. He existed in an environment for 40 years. Four, sorry. Big difference there between 40 and 4. Where it was used to kind of get you to conform. It reminded you that you weren't conforming well and that you weren't performing well. That you were... Joey.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I think Charles said disappointment, but I mean, I think that's maybe the word I'd use because it seems like it's this unattainable thing, and like there's always more you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, so for Adam, it's disappointment because there's just like more you can do. There's just so much that's like left to be desired. Lucy.
I think for me, my first thought was heavy.
Heavy.
But then I felt like, for me personally, more now is more just loving people. And it's not so much, I try not to use it as such a defined way that I have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way it's always been, but I see that differently now.
So we have another vote for if I were to interpret that a little bit, like there was an experience of like discipleship as a program, but now you're redefining it as more of a way of life, a way of love. Okay? I saw another hand somewhere. Angie.
My first thought was a word, but an image.
Mm.
It is an image of the church I grew up in Kentucky. And Wednesday night fellowship deal or fellowship call, for me it's more positive because it wasn't as structured as what the sanctuary was, but the discipleship in a community room
Mm-hmm.
eating together
Yeah.
was my image of that.
So Angie has a memory of like a fellowship hall around a table, and it's more positive because it wasn't as structured as the sanctuary. So notice how for all of us, words, concepts, obviously, like this one, which is why I'm doing this, they come with a lot of baggage. And for some of us, it's tied to good memories, good moments of formation, good environments. For others of us, not so much. And so, hold on a second. Over here, Ellie? Ellie felt dread because she wouldn't be able, worried that she wouldn't be able to live up to the expectation of obedience. So we have a couple people for whom this word is inextricably linked to obedience. Ralph. Pain and failure. Okay?
In the context of the phrase, no good deed goes unpunished.
No good deed goes unpunished. Fascinating. Thank you, Ralph. I saw hands over here. So you feel shame? That is not shame. Okay. Patty wouldn't want someone to come alongside her because she's not good enough to like teach somebody something. So discipleship is about teaching something, modeling something. So for you, it's more a reality of surrender that you practice, a peaceful surrender. Lots of feelings around this word. A lot of thoughts. I don't know how this is going to go because I didn't practice this. So, whatever. Hang on. I asked Ashley before we got together, do we care about this? So much for the plastic, huh? We'll come back to that. How many of you are stressed out because there's this mess just sitting here? God bless all of you. I'll give you a preview of where we're going with this. A lot of Christian discipleship never dealt with the mess, but you felt the stress of it all the time. All the time. Here's the deal. Like so many words, this one in itself, it's just a word. But of course, for all of us, words are tied to meaning, and the meaning is tied to experiences. We make meaning out of the word based on experiences. And I'm not shocked at all that for many of you, this word is not a good word. I could almost say a 4-letter word and you'd feel better than if I said this one. The concept behind this, I'm going to propose to you, offer to you. First of all, I'm sorry for what you've been through. I have it too, man. I'm like PT, I'm sick of this word. My church, our church in a way, you by connection, I'm an ordained United Methodist pastor. We have this tagline. Give it to me, PT. To make disciples. PT is a retired United Methodist pastor. I'm ordained, and we got other folks who are UM people in the house. Our church is United Methodist by connection. We're started, we still are. We have this phrase, to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. It's a completely hollow statement that doesn't get practiced in any sort of vital way in most churches. I once asked in a workshop, if you quote-unquote made a disciple, would you even know it? I want to offer this to you. It's still such a beautiful, worthy practice and commitment. Part of what I hope to do in the next several weeks is recover it. Is to explore a more healthy that. A worthy that. That's why we're starting a series called Faith That Makes Us Whole. Because we're going to think about discipleship that makes us whole. Doesn't divide us, but makes us whole. This is still like such a worthwhile thing to pursue because like if you wanted to be a master chef, what would be the best thing that you could do? Practice by yourself? Practice with somebody who is not like they love ingredients. They love all the ins and outs of the ingredients. They're students of how the ingredients work together. And they've been practicing that for ages. They also love people. They love putting together the ingredients in a really customized way for people. They love to see the look on people's faces when they eat really good food that they've put a lot of love and care and passion into. If you want to be a master chef like that, you spend time with that person. Not so that you can be a chef just like them, but so you can be a chef just like you. And they help you to unearth that. Yes, you're trying to be a chef like them. Yes, absolutely you are. But in the end, in a strange way, you'll become a chef just like you. The same if you want to be like someone who's really good at renovating houses. I worked for a summer with a guy who went to Heron Art School, and he remodeled houses. He was an artist before he was a construction worker. In 3 months, I learned so many skills, so many more, I'd wager, than if I would have gone to school and gotten a degree in building construction management. No shade at people who get that degree, because part of that degree is getting a bunch of experience. If you want to be a writer, you hang out with like writers who love it. Discipleship merely comes down to this concept of a relationship first. A relationship with someone who, yes, he was an artisan. So I was going to say he's not really a woodworker or builder. He literally was. He was of the artisan class. He was probably like a stonemason of some kind. But he wasn't so much a woodworker or a chef or a writer. Jesus builds people. He rebuilds people. Jesus builds people. He rebuilds people. And he loves people. It's that simple. One day I realized my discipleship wasn't working because I found in my head and my heart like, hey man, do you really just love people? Or do they just annoy you? Do you get sick and tired of people? Have you become jaded by people? Jesus loves people. If you want to love people, be an apprentice to him. I want to offer to you that discipleship is a wonderful, beautiful, life-giving thing. It just means like to be an apprentice to somebody who loves you and wants you to learn the craft and wants you to learn how good the craft is for you and for everybody else. Jesus is teaching us the craft of life as heaven defines it and how to do it. He's teaching us how to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you want to do that, no, if you want to be that, you be with him. And the same Spirit, as Paul said, that rose him from the dead will fill your bodies and raise you too. My question to you is like, if discipleship is our pursuit still, I'm hoping it still will be. I'm hoping that by the end of this you'll say, you know what? I think I'd like to make that my pursuit again. But I hope we understand it differently. If discipleship is our pursuit, what's our goal? I'm going to show you a picture of our goal, okay? Let's see. Amanda, you're very smart. Can you read it for us? It's right there. I'm messing with you, of course. Jamin says, is that like Greek? What do we think? What language do we think that is? How many of you are like, I don't care what language it is, just tell me what it says? What do you think, Tucker? Oh, thank you. Yeah, Tucker's just tell us what it means. It's Greek. That's an original manuscript of the New Testament. One of the first full manuscripts of the entire Bible. It's called Codex Sinaiticus. You can go to this website. I'm offering this to you because, frankly, I just like history. But secondly, like what we're trying to recover is something ancient. It existed long before us and long before the people who maybe destroyed the concept for us. In the original manuscripts, all the words were all capital letters and they were all smushed together with no punctuation. You think reading the Bible is hard now? What about that? But you know what's cool about this? You couldn't dissect it like you were performing an autopsy. Eugene Peterson said, we read the Bible like we're doing an autopsy on a dead body. You have to like hold it all together because it all belongs to each other. And the word there is this word teleos. I'm not just trying to show you that I went to school. This word, you wouldn't know it, is everywhere in the New Testament. Rarely do you see this in the New Testament where one writer will talk about a concept and then the other writers talk about it too. For example, did you know that Jesus never ever uses the word grace? Did you know that? Why does the church love the word grace? First of all, because it's an awesome concept and it's true. But a guy named Paul uses it all the time, especially in Romans. Does Jesus show grace? You betcha. All the time, every day, in his death, in his resurrection. Totally a thing. But this word gets used by everybody. It's in the Gospels. It's in Paul. It's in James. It's in Hebrew. It's in it all. This word is really important. And you wouldn't know it. Okay, you're like, well, okay, why do I care about this word? It means something like that. Especially the directed to one end. It's this idea that we're moving toward completion. We're moving toward wholeness. That the things that were wounded are being healed. And the things that were like divided, that shouldn't be divided, are coming together. Wholeness. The goal of discipleship is wholeness. It's completeness. It's healing broken things. It's like bringing all the parts together. It's like bringing into unity the things that have been disconnected, but they shouldn't be. Jesus comes to make us whole. He doesn't give us a doing good program. Discipleship is not a doing good program. It's a being whole way of life. Apprenticeship with Jesus is not a doing good program. It is a being whole way of life. Jesus is giving us wholeness supernaturally through his love, through the power of the Spirit that works within us. He is healing broken parts. He is like mind, body, spirit, making it work together. He is like forming us into these beautiful, mysterious creations of mind, body, and spirit who reflect the character of God, but also reflect the fullness of you. And together, we help make the world that. If you're sick and tired of the abstract thinking, we're about done with it. It's going to get practical. But I needed to tell you like this idea. The goal of discipleship, if you watch the whole New Testament witness, is about like completion, wholeness. There's another word that is the same meaning. I won't make you pay attention to Greek again, but there's another concept that means the same thing, and it's like similar thing, and it's all over, everywhere. Everywhere it's there. I'll show you just a couple of verses where it pops up, okay? We'll come back to planet Earth if that was too much like, my brain hurts, I'm asleep. Jesus uses it here. Therefore, this is Matthew 5, chapter 48. Therefore, just as your heavenly Father is complete, there's the word. I showed you the manuscript. That's that manuscript or those words right there. Just as your heavenly Father is complete in showing love to everyone, so also you must be complete. Now, some of you are going, there it is, that I'm nervous. I'm not going to live up to it. That's not like, you better be or else. It's, hey, this is the goal. Because what is this Sermon on the Mount in response to? It's in response to all the religious leaders and powerful people who are weaponizing religion. He's saying, nuh-uh, don't listen to them. This is the goal. I'm not inviting you to a doing good program. I'm inviting you to a being whole way of life. Life as heaven defines it. Come with me. That's the one word. Here's the other word. Man, how have we not put this up on a banner? Jesus himself says these words like this is part of the goal. I have said these things to you so that you'll be obedient, Ellie, Natalie, all the rest of you. Be obedient or else. I said these things to you so that my joy will be in you. And your joy will be complete. This is the other word. It's like something that was talked about long ago and is coming to fulfillment. Like something that we've been working on, but it's going to get finished. My joy, as you walk with me, becomes your joy. And it's complete. The second fruit of the Spirit, for Pete's sakes. Come on, church folk, what is it? Love. How many of you are legitimately, genuinely joyful Christians? Not me. I'm cynical, disillusioned, jaded. That's an indictment of the discipleship I got taught. I'm not talking about how you walk into a church and everybody looks like a plastic robot Christian. They're just smiley and weird. I'm talking about authentic, living, breathing, spirit-filled people who have discovered a different kind of joy. Different kind of peace. Jesus, the master chef, shows you that. He shows you how to appreciate a different kind of food and ingredients, how to be nourished by it, and how to go cook it for others. But here's the problem. You already started to illustrate it. What did we learn? Paul says this. Check it out. Paul's like, hey, we have this treasure in clay pots so that the awesome power belongs to God and doesn't come from us. We're like these clay pots that were carefully formed out of the materials of the earth, so wonderfully and attentively created so that we would be beautiful and wonderful and also filled with the very treasures of God's reality. That's what we are. But something went wrong with the world. We'll get into that another day. And it has a way of doing this to people. How are you feeling about the mess still? You stressed out? Yeah, you want to come clean it up, don't you? The church taught a lot of us, not everyone, but the church taught us a kind of discipleship that looked at this and said, Charles, just pray about it. Just pray about it. And Charles and all of us want to be like, frankly, I feel kind of angry about this. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Pray about that too. in a way. Another illustration. Let's say that these lights right here are like your mind, right? And this whole building is like your body. And this eternal flame up here is the Spirit. Got it? Discipleship said, we learned discipleship that said the goal is to do this. The lights are your mind and your feelings, right? Hold on. You did it. Turn off your mind, because that's the place where sin grows. Pray about it. Is that wholeness? No, it's dividing who you are as a person. God made you with thoughts and feelings and passion and emotion and desire, and they're good gifts. God doesn't want you to turn them off, or else sin grows, and you fail the obedience test, and then you don't get to go to heaven in the end. That's baloney. No, discipleship has nothing to do with that. Yeah, thank you. In fact, that's part of what happens in discipleship is you eventually get to the point where you just call it up and baby, it happens. No. Jesus looks at this, your body, your mind, your spirit, and he weeps about it, about what you have gone through, about what has happened to this beautiful creation. And he weeps about the way that you helped make it more of a broken place. Let's be honest. Sorry, but you're all in on that too. Trauma happens to us. And sometimes to deal with that, we go out and go make it more of a broken place. Discipleship is about making all of this, all of you, emotions, spirit, body, whole. Discipleship is about being in repair alongside Jesus. So, really quick, and then here's some ways. I'm going to run through these really quickly because we have to be done for the day. Here's some ways discipleship failed, and then we'll get back to, like, the ending. So what? One, discipleship neglected. This is, by the way, it's got dirt on it. A lot of this series is inspired by a book called Emotionally Healthy Discipleship by Pete Scazzero. That's his story at the beginning. I don't love everything in the book. He comes from an evangelical background, still is, but a lot of stuff he writes in here is like pure gold. We're going to be thinking for the next several weeks about faith that makes us whole, discipleship that makes us whole, that helps us be alongside Jesus before we do anything. In fact, next week, that's what the sermon is about. It's about being before doing. It's about being. He identifies 4 things in here. I think he's missing a couple, but 4 things he says where discipleship failed. Number 1, it neglects emotional wholeness. Many of us grew up in a church that neglected emotional wholeness and just said things like, pray about it, or told you that your anger is dangerous, that pleasure is dangerous, desire is dangerous. Secondly, second failure, you all said it. Scazzero says it. It made discipleship all about deeds and doing. Discipleship is a doing good program. Do stuff. And he mentions 2 more, one that's a little more nuanced. He talks about how a lot of the evangelicals, I'm just going to call it out, believe the church began in the 16th century with Luther's reformations. We neglected a lot of stuff in church history that was just about like breathing, being, contemplative stuff. Lastly, discipleship we grew up with defined success wrongly. We're going to explore this the next several weeks, like faith that makes us whole. As we close today, though, as we think about that, like some of these, I've thrown out a lot of stuff today. What are questions that you have about this concept of faith that makes you whole? Or what are desires or things that you hope that we address in the coming weeks? Joey?
I've been sitting here thinking about like us as individuals as being complete.
Yeah.
Kind of like the big picture. So, I mean, my understanding or recollection of the Bible is that when we're going to have new resurrection bodies. So, I think at that point we become complete. So we have to acknowledge that while we're here on this earth as it is, we're not going to be complete. So we have to be okay with that and not shameful about it. And then kind of big picture is like when heaven does come down to earth, like at that point, like that's when all of it is.
I couldn't have said it much better. Yeah, we are on a journey of like being in repair. All of us, not just like spiritual part of us gets better. All of us is on the path of healing, including our bodies. And like you said, Paul says it when he uses that word complete. He has this whole part about being complete in love too. He says, for now we stare into a mirror dimly. Right now we have like a partial glimpse of wholeness. We're going to keep seeing more of it. Then one day we're going to see it so clearly. But right now, the goal of discipleship is to help us get things more in focus, move towards completeness, move towards wholeness. What else? What does this stir in you? Like, what are some things, questions you have as we talk about this? Some things you'll hope we address in the coming weeks? How to be emotionally healthy during this political season. I can tell you that we're going to get there, PT. Not next week, but the week after, is about following the crucified, not the Americanized Jesus. Sounds like fun. What else? What are you thinking about as we talk about this? Christy.
I think, you know, just acknowledging or being able to see how everyone's completeness kind of intertwines. And that is, you know, maybe not so much just inside yourself, but as a collective as well, or with your, you know, circles and things like that, just to kind of see how that all plays to be part of the completeness.
Do you mean Christianity isn't like about how every man and woman is out for him or herself? It's funny, that's not what I heard growing up. At the end of the day, the goal was that your spirit would get to go to paradise. You could break it down to all these other lovely things, but that was the end game. No, man. The goal is like the wholeness and renewal of all things. That's the goal. What else? Hey, music team, if y'all want to go up, that way I'll have a stop for it, so I won't just keep blabbing. All right. Anything else that you're thinking of that's stirring in you? Charles. Yeah.
and maybe not really sure how to articulate it. So I'm
Yeah.
excited about this idea of wholeness on not only
Yeah.
from a spiritual perspective, but as a mental health professional,
Yeah.
and helping people find
Yeah.
bodies, spirit.
Yeah. Charles experienced some affirmation along the lines of this concept of wholeness. Glad for that. My Academy Award music. Any other thoughts? It wouldn't be a bad idea to get the book. For instance, there's an assessment at the beginning which seems to fly in the face of everything I've just said. But it's a point of awareness. And if you take the assessment about like how emotionally healthy your discipleship is, it could be like, wow, there's some opportunities for wholeness for me. I don't love all the questions, so there's the disclaimer. Hey, let's pray together and then sing together. Lord, help us to grow in this series in a relationship with you. Toward a relationship with you, not towards just doing things, performing things. Help us to learn how to be in your presence, how to be in each other's presence. I ask by the power of your Holy Spirit that you would help us to heal in body, heal in mind, and flourish in spirit, so that we grow as people who know you, appreciate you, people who love you, people who love ourselves, and out of that love others. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Of these pieces, broken and scattered, in mercy gathered, mended and whole, empty-handed, but not forsaken. I've been set free. I've been set free. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Oh, I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, I can see you now. Oh, I can see the love in your eyes, laying yourself down, raising up the broken to life. You take our failure, you take our weakness, you set your treasure in jars of clay. So take this heart, Lord, I'll be your vessel, the world to see your life in me. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Oh, I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, I can see you now. Oh, I can see the love in your eyes, laying yourself down, raising up the broken.
Thank you for being with us today. Reminder about back to school night. What discipleship with Jesus can do for us, and I hope you take this with you. Lord, I believe it helped my unbelief. Though we may see ourselves as wretch, He sees us as worthy. He sees us as worthy of care, of attention, of creative repair, worthy of treasure, the very treasure of heaven to be held. May you believe that and walk with that truth this week. See you next week.